The honourable member for Skeena Bulkley Valley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And despite many attempts to obtain answers, Canadians still don't know why the Conservatives refuse to consult them on the Elections Act. Committees constantly travel across the country to consult Canadians. The Conservatives want to waste $600,000 for other committees who travel, but not for this bill. This time, the government doesn't want to listen to reason. Why exactly does the minister refuse to consult and respect Canadians?
Democratic Reform.
We have already consulted and we will continue to do so. The Fair Elections Act will mean that political power remains in the hands of Canadians. The man and woman on the street, by blocking the power of special interest groups and by preventing violations of the legislation. It gives more power to the commissioner who investigates in order to guarantee that the law is complied with. And, Mr. Speaker, it will make it easier for Canadians to vote.
Mr. Speaker, a simple question, a reasonable and democratic proposal to consult with Canadians, yet this minister thinks only Ottawa Conservatives have a right to be heard. Conservatives are willing to spend more than $600,000 on travel for other committees, and they didn't think any of that was an expensive circus. So why now? Why this bill? Why refuse to allow open and public consultations on such a critical piece of legislation that is the foundation of our democratic principles? Is the government really that scared of hearing what Canadians think of their Unfair Election Act?
Minister of State Democratic Reform.
Mr. Speaker, if the member wants people to provide input to the Fair Elections Act, then he should simply put together a list of witnesses that he wants to have testify on that very act. And of course, the committee in question will take into consideration their ideas and consider the amendments that those witnesses bring forward. But the NDP declared its opposition to the Fair Elections Act before even reading a single word. Mr. Speaker, the Canadian people understand the Fair Elections Act will keep everyday Canadians in charge of democracy by putting special interest groups on the sidelines and rule breakers out of business.
Honourable member for Skeena Bulkley Valley.
Historically, changing the laws that govern our elections has always been a nonpartisan exercise, but not for these Ottawa Conservatives. Canadians from all walks of life and in every region of the country need to be able to tell their government how our democracy will run, not the other way around. MPs travel and consult on new legislation all the time. But what are the Conservatives afraid to hear about with regard to their Unfair Elections Act? Why won't the minister step out of his Ottawa bubble for just 1 minute, respect Canadians, consult with them, allow the committee to travel?
The Honourable Minister of State.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, the member talks about partisanship. That's why I regret so much that his party has taken such a partisan approach to this bill. They announced before they even read the bill that they were opposed to it simply because it came from a different party. That's not the kind of leadership Canadians expect. He should have read the bill, studied its contents. He should be supporting a new ban on impersonators. He should support the new voter contact registry that will allow us to track robocalls and mass calling. He should support tougher penalties for voter deception. All of these things are right in the Fair Elections Act, if only he'd read it.